Greetings. We are live, and it is 1 p.m. on the nose. I love punctuality. I don't know what it is. I just do. How y'all doing? Come on in. We are on, and I'm just going to get into it. Say hello to the live in the live chat. Just let me know you're here. We went from went 1, 2, 3 viewers and back to 1. So hold on 1 second. I'm also trying to record this so that I can do something later. Anyway, so let's get into some topics. This is from The Intercept. Dakota Access Pipeline activists face 110 years in prison, 2 years after confessing sabotage. And I was just talking to a few people in the comment section about this. 2 women who vandalized, not about this specifically, but about the idea of, eco-terrorists being suppressed. 2 women who vandalized the Dakota Access Pipeline in an effort to halt construction have been indicted on charges that carry up to 110 years in prison and hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines. They are among the harshest penalties environmental activists have faced in the last decade. Unless you're from the global south, in which case they just take you out. Civil liberties lawyers say the charges are in line with industry-inspired scare tactics meant to deter citizens from participating in direct action protests or acts of sabotage against oil and gas companies. As the deadly impacts of carbon emissions grow ever clearer, the fossil fuel industry has increased pressure on lawmakers and government officials to penalize those who would inhibit their projects' operations. Interesting that there are now discussions about, eco-fascism, if you will, and the actual fascism is the power of the corporate state to penalize, imprison, thwart any and all attempts to stop the encroachment of industrial civilization on nature, any and all attempts, it's going to increase. Obviously, it is already increasing to include protesters, activists. Extinction Rebellion, again, was, barred from protesting in London, and we can only expect to see more of this, is what I'm trying to say. This is going to increase. And so, the fascism or eco-terrorism label is going to be used, against the people that are trying to do good, which is stop the encroachment of industrial civilization on nature or on the planet. And, at the heart of it is the idea that everything that humans doing is good and acceptable and supportable and and humanistic. That everything we are doing is for the good of everyone else. And you can see just from empirical evidence that that's just not true. Human said, then they came for the chatters. Oh, indeed, they will. They're already doing it in a very soft manner. I've already spoken about this. I don't know if I really want to speak about it today because it's something that's pissing me off. But Bernie can pardon them. Well, if they allow Bernie to become president. That's the question. I actually think that Bernie I actually think that Bernie will win. I actually think that Bernie will start to win in the primaries. He will, all of this media smearing and this media blackout of Bernie Sanders and all of the polls and the, Biden and Warren are ahead. And then when we get to the actual primaries, wham, Bernie's just going to take it. He's going to start taking primaries hand over fist, and they're going to go, oh, now what do we do? And then that will get very interesting. What will they do? How far will they go to keep this person out of office? Manchin said, no way, Jose, on Bernie. Exactly. They're like, no dice. We are not letting this happen. They're doing everything in their power to insist that he's trailing in the polls. He's over the hill. He doesn't have anything in the tank. Nobody likes him. He's sexist and racist. All the supporters are sexist, blah, 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 blah. They're doing every single thing they can to get in the way of his campaign. And he's more popular than ever. If you notice, he's had the largest campaign crowd of the primaries of any candidate, and that includes Trump. And so that kind of just speaks to reality. The reality is that Bernie Sanders is the most popular politician in the United States, and they hate that. Basil, namaste. Hello, guys. How are you? Thank you for coming in. 24 viewers, 10 likes. Keep liking the video, please, so we can get more viewers on the live stream today. Paula Jean Swearingen, yeah. I'm familiar with what's going on. So yeah, what's happening to progressives in certain races is that they're getting astroturfed or greenwashed or what I don't know. There might be another word for it now. Faux-gressive. So what they do is they run somebody who acts like a progressive against a progressive, but they have a lot, monetary backing, and they have the backing of the powers that be. And they basically, take over someone else's platform. Elizabeth Warren. They take over somebody else's platform. They parrot all their talking points, and everybody goes, that sounds really good. And then they win, and then they suddenly about face. And as a prime example of somebody who did that very well was Barack Obama. Barack Obama originally ran on extremely progressive ideas. The things he was saying, everybody was like, whoa, you're going to close down Guantanamo. Whoa, you're going to get us out of wars. Whoa, you're going to give us health care. And then he got into office and was like, I don't know, guys, I just can't do it. Going South, hello. Sandy, hello. How you doing, guys? Gene, hello. William, hello. Welcome. Keith Hayes, have stuff on the Sandbloom gas strike on my website. Thank you, Keith. Keep spreading the word about the gas strike. I will try to remember to post on all my. I will I will post eventually on all my media sites about the gas strike tomorrow. It's important that we try to support this and get the word out about Friday gas strike, so that we can support the school strikers, so that we can support Greta Thunberg and support all the strikers globally. Fridays are the day. So this gas strike is in conjunction with all the environmental strikes going on around the world. So Nunez says Trump is done. Go Bernie, go. So very interesting news coming out this week about Trump. Sorry to start this out with all this political stuff, but that's we kind of just go where the conversation goes. But so in the last quarter, Trump and the Republican Party raised $125 million. And on top of that, that wasn't from corporations, that wasn't from big money donors, that was from small money donors. Trump is basically doing what the progressives are doing at a much higher rate, and that should be really frightening, panic-worthy news. That they have all this money. They outraised the entire class of primary candidates on the Democratic side. That is insane. That is absolutely over the top. I mean, $125 million. I think the entire DNC and all the Democrats combined raised like 80 million or 90 million or something like that. They maybe it was lower. Maybe it was 70 million. This doesn't look good. Although I don't think that Trump is as popular among. I think that Trump has lost some of his outsider, cachet or whatever, obviously because he's president now, and obviously because if you have two brain cells to rub together, you can see that he's not an outsider. As far as support of the military industrial complex and as far as support of the corporate state goes, he is not an outsider. And yet the intelligence agencies and the deep state hate him. So I don't know. There's, it's spy versus spy going on still. 3 years into his presidency, there's still these factions of the deep state going on. But neither faction is a good faction. Neither faction is good or evil. They're both evil. It's just a power play. Karen, hello. How are you? Cynthia, how you doing? Thank you. Katie Hill should not have resigned. I don't know. That's debatable. I don't think it looks good for her. She's, it's a scandal. I mean, I think, that's what Democrats do is they resign, and Republicans kind of just try and stick it out and say like, I don't care. I'm an evil person and just vote for me anyways. And usually Republicans don't care about stuff like that, but Democrats do, because Democrats have this much more of a moral compass. I'm kidding. In general, I think that Democrats and liberals have more of a moral compass, and that is highly debatable. So anyways, why would a woke Dem have a Nazi tattoo on a private part? Something about pushing the boundaries of the forbidden. I have no idea about that. What is going on? Prud'homme, you always have these little tidbits of information that not a lot of people are privy to. So if you could expand on that, I'd appreciate it. Gene says, question, has anyone noticed if the MSM has covered the Pentagon climate crisis report or only here with Black Bear News? I haven't seen it anywhere. I have not seen it anywhere. And I'm sure that other alternative channels or climate change channels have covered it, but I haven't seen that yet. I have seen a little more Extinction Rebellion coverage on some of the progressive channels. None of the progressive channels have covered this Pentagon report. So maybe we're on the cutting edge of that. I don't know if anybody else has covered that report. And here's the crazy thing. That report, the headline alone, my subscriber and view rate should be skyrocketing just on that headline alone. And yet, squash. YouTube algorithms just squashing the shit out of me. I should have had 1,000 views on that video already, but right now, and I don't. And I actually do have 1,000 views. They're just not counting them. That's what's happening. So, you guys, you got to help me like overcome the algorithms if you can in any way possible. That just means, liking, sharing, subscribing, making sure you're still subscribed. I don't want to spend a lot of time on that because it's just frustrating. Kevin Jensen, hola, hello, welcome, bienvenidos. Going South says, let's talk about genitals. Let's not. Prud'homme, so what was a tattoo? I don't know. Yes, Prud'homme says Epstein, pathologist, that Epstein, so a pathologist that the Epstein family, I guess, hired, concluded that he died from homicide. And that's something the mainstream media is not covering on any level. Legally, that means that implicates, a whole lot. Environmental Coffee House says it wasn't a Nazi tattoo. I'm trying to get more information on this. Prud'homme asks, will Bernie have the guts to run as an independent if the nomination gets stolen again? That is, I would like him to do that. I fully support him doing that, and here's why. Because he has the biggest infrastructure, supporters, small money donors. He has the biggest infrastructure in the U.S. He's the most popular politician in the U.S. He alone could run independent and do it. Anyone else fail, and an actual, obviously in our system, in our political two-party system, that would, hurt the Democrats. I said this in 2016. If Bernie would have jumped out and ran Democrat, he would have beat both Clinton and Trump. I think he could do it again. I think the time is right. I think the political climate is right. I think it's time to destroy the two-party system. He could smash the two-party system. Will he do it? Probably not. And that's an unfortunate reality. Thank you. Thank you, Basil. We are in a flood watch here in the Finger Lakes, New York area. I did not know that. Let's keep our eyes on that. I'm sorry to hear that. Stay safe, Basil. I hope whatever area you are in, that doesn't affect you. Trev B5 says YouTube plays all Fox News clips if I switch to autoplay. Interesting. Natural Progressive, hello. Listen in while you drive. I do that. Sorry, I'm guilty. I actually listen to a lot of YouTube videos when I'm driving, as much as I possibly can. I don't watch them. I just listen as podcasts. But that's how that goes. Thanks, guys, for being here. Thanks for joining in. We have 42 viewers. Let's get back to this. I just want to finish up this article at the same time. So we're talking about the activists getting charged in sabotaging the Dakota Access Pipeline. And I was speaking to some people today about, the idea. And in my video yesterday, I said something about bringing the troops home and, to deal with climate change I also said the possibility of Trump being run out of office for, failure to, act in reality. And I know that on some levels that could be, a green light to some kind of military authoritarianism, or some kind of deep state takeover, or some kind of deep state coup, or, I understand all that. And that's most likely how this is all going to go. I mean, fascism, the fascism doesn't just come from Trump. I'll say that again. The fascism was already there before Trump. And the fascism will continue to expand and to rise, regardless of Trump being in office or not. The powers that be, the law enforcement apparatus, the military apparatus, the deep state apparatus, the permanent intelligence community, all of those people are going to make sure that they stay in control, and the way that they will do that is through use of power, or use of law enforcement or the courts, trumped up charges, punitive sentences, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, no more two-party. That's right, Natural Progressive. We've got to stop this idea that we have to stop voter shaming. We have to stop this idea that, oh my God, if you vote third party, you split the vote and you let Trump win. No, that's not true. And this is covered very, very well on a lot of different channels. The biggest voting bloc in the country is the voting bloc that didn't vote. The people that didn't stay at home, the people that are absolutely sickened by this two-party system, the people that are sickened by their choices. You have to bring those people out. What if a third-party candidate ran and got all of those people? They would win, and they would knock the other two parties out, and that would be, the best possible scenario. We must end the stranglehold of the two-party system. Human says, I can't find the address for Friday gas strike. You know what? I don't have an actual page for the Friday gas strike set up, and I want to do that. I just haven't had time, and I won't have time today. It's just not going to happen today because my life is just, there's too much going on. Maybe tomorrow. Actually, not tomorrow. That's not going to happen tomorrow. Someday, very soon, I'm going to make a page for the Friday gas strike, or a Black Bear News Facebook page or something like that. And you guys can go there and, like the page and be a part of it, and we can discuss it there. Please, nobody else, don't make a Friday gas strike page. Please, I'm going to do it. Don't make a Black Bear News page. Please, I'm going to do it. Just don't jump the gun. But you all know that it's happening. So you can go to my Instagram page, my personal Facebook page, my Twitter page. I talk about the Friday gas strike there. You can retweet or reshare my Instagram feed, or reshare my Facebook, posts. Just, share it organically right now. Environmental Coffee House says it's torrential rain here. You are in New York, upstate, I believe. Yes. So let's go back to Prudhomme says Baghdadi died 5 times. Sunday was just his latest performance. Yes. You know what? I was wondering about that. When I saw that news, I was like, wait a minute. Did we drone Baghdadi? I thought we droned him like 2 years ago. Can you confirm that, Prudhomme? I swear to God, I thought Baghdadi was already droned. D Ranch says a few rich getting worried. Money is piling up, I believe, from a very few, not like Bernie. Yeah, so there another big news story is that the wealthy elite know that Biden is falling, know that he is a failed candidate. No, I personally believe that all the polling numbers are bullshit. They're all skewed. They are sampling, specific people in order to get this result of he has 30%. He does not have 30%. He is, in a lot of other polls, he has fallen to as little as 9%. The New Hampshire, the latest New Hampshire poll had Bernie leading at 21% and had Biden, down to something like, very low teens or something like 9%. So he's done. Biden is done. He's cooked. The elites are scared. They are trying to figure out who else they're going to run. They're talking about running Hillary Clinton again. Oh my God. And talking about running, Bloomberg. But the other interesting thing about that is they did another poll and they took Biden out and they put Hillary Clinton in and Bloomberg in. And guess what? Bernie wins that race too. They had Bloomberg down at 1%, Hillary Clinton down at 11%, and basically Bernie and Warren at 1 and 2. We have 60 viewers, 29 likes. Can you guys like the video when you get a chance, just to make sure we get more viewers? So the plan to run Hillary Clinton, I think, is just a bad idea, a really bad idea, and probably helps Bernie. And probably actually Hillary Clinton hurts Warren because I see the biggest faction of Warren supporters. I think I see them as those middle of the road. Let's, get the safest person. Oh, and we really want to have a woman be president, people. Look, I want to see a woman be a president too. Just not Hillary Clinton for sure. I would have to, hold my nose and vote for Warren. I would love to see Tulsi Gabbard as president or vice president. I would love to see, another woman be president. Not necessarily Hillary Clinton, not necessarily Warren. Warren is, I don't trust Warren. I'm sorry. I just personally don't trust Warren. There's a lot of other progressive channels that say the same thing. I just do not. Let's see. Prudhomme says Trump's been interfering in the UK general election. I don't know. Going south, Hillary Hilton. Yes. Thank you for liking the videos, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you, Trev. Thank you for sharing. Proudhon says a group of Christians has been convicted of causing damage at a U.S. nuclear base. Story on Consortium News. I will try and find that story, Proudhon. Thank you. So obviously there's a lot of fires going on in California. This is a wild. It's not this one. So here's a list, a map of wildfires burning around Southern California. You guys can't see this. I'm sorry, because I'm just not set up to do that today. We have, maybe they'll list them for me, but there's Hillside Fire in San Bernardino, the 46 fire in Jurupa Valley, and I have a story about that fire. This is wild. Jurupa Valley fire erupts after police chase ends in fiery crash. Structures destroyed amid evacuations. So this is crazy. I just want to read this story real quick. A brush fire that was sparked by a crash at the end of a police chase and went on to blacken at least 360 acres in Jurupa Valley Thursday morning. The blaze continues to rage at 0% containment as of 6 a.m. this morning. Cal Fire Riverside said at least 3 residential structures and 2 outbuildings and 1 mobile home were destroyed. Watch out for those fiery police crashes. So I'm going to go on and continue to read the list of fires in California. Easy Fire in Simi Valley, that's close to me. The Getty Fire in the Brentwood area, 39% containment if you guys are interested. The Easy Fire has 10% containment. Hill Fire in Jurupa Valley, 30% containment. Fire in Fullerton, 100% containment. The Tick Fire in Santa Clarita, 100% contained. The Dexter Fire in Riverside, 0% contained. That is Southern California. We also have in Northern California, we still have fires going. We have the Kincaid Fire. We have the South Fire. We have power outages in Humboldt. We have the Nevada Fire. Power outages in Shasta. Thermal activity. I don't know what that means. Along the Sacramento River. Power outages in Solano. Power outages in Sonoma. Power outages in Mendocino County. So this is ongoing. Cindy Seeley, Bernie AOC ticket. Yes, that would be lovely, although AOC is too young to be vice president. You have to be 35. AOC is president. I'm totally with you, Veronica. Absolutely. I would love to see AOC as president. How about a head explosion for Republicans everywhere? That would be beautiful. She's popular. She's extremely popular in the U.S., even though people try to say that she isn't. She is too young to run for president or be vice president, unfortunately. Cynthia says, ask Nestle to put out the fires. Exactly. With all their aquifer water. Realize. How you doing? Fires and floods. My brother. Cornholio says, hundreds of koalas feared dead in massive Australian brush fire. It is almost, it is a serious task to cover every single like extreme weather event around the world, and to cover all the climate change news. I mean, it's just an onslaught. What I'm going to try and do, I think, is as much as I possibly can do a roundup of extreme weather events. I don't know if I can do it daily, but maybe every couple of days, and try and just scoop up like headlines from around the world. If you guys are following Nick Humphrey on his Facebook page, he does a really good job of posting extreme weather events from almost everywhere. I get a lot of my weather event news from the Nick Humphrey page. Explosion for Dems too. Yeah, AOC is a head explosion for everybody in power. But AOC and, Rashida Tlaib and Ayanna Pressley and Ilhan Omar, they are proof that progressives can win, and they have shown that they are a bloc, and they have all supported Bernie Sanders for president. And that is all a head explosion for all the Warren supporters. That's a head explosion for elite Democrats. But it's a beautiful thing because that's really boosted Bernie's visibility. I mean, everybody's like, oh, whoa. Yeah, he really does have a multicultural, multi-generational, gender-inclusive platform and campaign. The elite class would implode, yes. Going South says, make AOC a fake idea. Easy. Environmental Coffee House, it's all up on our FB page. Stressful. Yeah, I know. I know. I just really, when I'm making my videos, I just have to pick out like, oh, this story and this one. I'm picking like 3 out of 100 every single day. Not including all the political news I want to cover. Like, I really don't cover, you guys think, or some people on this channel think I cover too much political news. I'm literally picking out 1 or 2 stories out of, per 4 or 5 days to cover politically, when I could do 5 political stories a day easily. Cornholio, I would like a roundup. Yeah, I'm thinking that might be a good thing to do. Just a quick roundup. I want, like I'll do a headline, extreme weather event headlines, and then maybe do 1 story to talk about or something like that. I don't know. Gene asked me, Kevin, how do you escape the inundation of bad news? What's in my cup is coffee. Very, very strong coffee. A little too strong, probably. I'm running on coffee and little sleep these days. I don't escape the inundation of bad news. It's coming at me all the time. I just, it's like I look at it and then I can only look at so much, and then I let it go. I let it go and do the things that I have to do for the day. Mama's got a brand new Baghdadi. Yes. You know what I wanted to post? Do you guys follow Michael Tracy? He's a really good, I guess you would call him a progressive. He's kind of just an independent news commentator, pundit. He writes for all kinds of channels and all kinds of outlets. And he does his own YouTube channel. And he has a really good video up about how the press covered Baghdadi compared to how the press covered Osama bin Laden being killed. And that is a huge story. I mean, I won't even go into that because the whole thing about Osama bin Laden being killed was ridiculous, to say the least. But anyways, maybe I'll link it in this video. But I would like to show that video one day in another video and talk about it. But he does a really good video about the ridiculous, the disparity of the coverage between Baghdadi, the weirdness about the coverage of Baghdadi compared to Osama bin Laden being killed. Groot, how you doing? Long time no hear, buddy. Good to see you. Anyways. Human says there's no normal today. We have 70 viewers. Thank you guys for being here. 42 likes. Like the video. Jump on in. Ryan Carrion says, or Ryan Karayan, I think you do a great job covering the politics. Thank you for getting me into Jimmy Dore. He is the best. Jimmy Dore is the best. He's one of the best. I've been watching a lot of Jamarl Thomas these days. If you guys don't know who he is, he does progressive news. I really like his coverage. and his take on things. He also does a lot of coverage of UK politics, or at least a lot more coverage than a lot of progressive channels. But he's covering the whole Boris Johnson Brexit thing. He's really good. So I really encourage you to check out Jamarl Thomas. I'm not doing trick-or-treating, guys. I'm not. I usually do it with my daughter, but today my daughter's going to do trick-or-treating with her mom. I am going to work, and I'm leaving the trick-or-treating to all the other people. We don't get a lot of trick-or-treaters here for whatever reason. It's just a weird neighborhood. What happens around here, there are some really good neighborhoods to trick-or-treat, so all the kids go to the good neighborhoods to trick-or-treat, and they all know where those neighborhoods are. And they kind of leave the other neighborhoods alone. So this is one of the neighborhoods where it's like we get like 3, possibly 2. So yeah. D Truth says, put your fingers in your ears and shut your eyes. Works for me. You know what I do is I just, sometimes I close my computer or I just shut my phone off and I just, just for a little while. Environmental Coffee House says, I wish Dore would get off Clinton. I'm sick of her name. I don't know that he's really on Clinton as much as he used to be. I'm sick of her name too, but guess what? She just stuck her finger in the pie again in the last 2 weeks. She decided to rear her ugly head, and I'm sick of Clinton. I'm sick of Hillary Clinton. I wish she would go away. And we only have to talk about her as much as, she insists on being in the news, which she's insisting on being in the news. But I think she came out, she said some crazy shit, and people were like, shut up and go away. And I haven't heard anything about it, from her again. So Natural Progressive, Jimmy is the best. Love Jamarl too. Yes. We're at 78 viewers, guys. Let's get to 80. Hell, let's get to 100. If we can get to 100 viewers today, I'd be really, really happy. I don't think we've broken 100 yet. We've gotten to like 98. I think we got to like 98 one day. Anyways, Trev B5 says, repurpose pipelines to transport high-test coffee. I'm with that. Going South says, Oslo getting snow before Greenland this year. Yeah, there's been... I'm seeing reports of like snowstorms, snowfall in some places. It's rather early, I guess, for some places, or other places, maybe it's just about time. I don't know. It's almost November. Big Gav 74 says, Australian Prime Minister ScoMo, or Scott Morrison, right? Is that his name? Said climate protesters are pushing the boundaries of the rights to protest. More to come. Yeah, I mean, let's cover. So this is what I wanted to cover this also in this video, is the fact that there are worldwide protests against corruption, government failure. XR is protesting the government's failure to take climate change seriously. Macron is, there's a climate change element in the yellow vest protests. But as we have seen with XR, the XR protests a few weeks ago, actually the yellow vests were in support of XR. And thank you, Natural Progressive, for your super chat. Thank you for being awesome, she says. Have to hear the rest later. Agree on Clinton. Sick of her. She needs to go away. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Natural Progressive. So check this out. So there was supposed to be a conference in Chile, climate conference. We're at 85 viewers. Let's get to 90, guys. Thank you. And they are canceling. They're canceling Apec and climate summits amid waves of unrest in Chile. This has been going on for a few weeks. Sebastian Pinera confirms he will not hold summits in November and December as government struggles with massive protests. This is from The Guardian yesterday. Chile's embattled president has been forced to cancel 2 major international summits after government concessions failed to defuse weeks of violent protests that have been seen thousands of arrests, left at least 20 dead, and sent shockwaves across Latin America. Sebastián Piñera made the announcement on Wednesday morning, telling reporters Chile would no longer be able to host November's Apec Trade Summit and the COP25 UN Climate Conference the following month. Wow. That's pretty big news. World leaders, including Donald Trump and China's leader Xi Jinping, had been due to attend the first event, while climate champions, including teenage activist Greta Thunberg and Roger Hallam, I think, was talking about going to Chile, were expected at the second. Piñera blamed the difficult circumstances Chile was facing for the decision and said his government's primary concern had to be fully restoring public order, security, and social peace. Whatever that means. 87 viewers. Let's get to 90, guys. Almost there. Guys. Going South says Chileans torturing their subway. It's not just Chile. Protesting is not just for Chile anymore. Let's go through the list, because there's a list. Iraqi protesters packed Baghdad Square. This is from 3 days ago. Anti-government movement gains momentum. Tens of thousands of Iraqis protested in Baghdad's central Tahrir Square on Tuesday for a 5th day. Angered by reports of security forces killing demonstrators in the city of Kerbala and the prime minister's refusal to call early elections. It was the largest gathering in the capital since a second wave of demonstrations against Prime Minister Adel Abdul Mahdi's government and the ruling elite resumed on Friday. A populist cleric who helped install the premier called for his removal. Security forces stationed on the nearby Jumhuriya Bridge lobbed tear gas at protesters in Tahrir Square, who tried to break through to the heavily fortified Green Zone, which houses government buildings and foreign missions. That was a Green Zone set up and occupied by the U.S. forces during their occupation. And I believe we're still there on some level. With life and blood, we defend you, Iraq, they chanted. Look out. We're at 92. 92 viewers. Thank you, guys. Let's get to 100 today. Can we do that? Rioting only in Catalonia. Rest of Spain is peaceful at the moment. So Catalonia getting jumpy. There's a wave of people rising up against neoliberalism and imperialism all over the world. That's from Real Eyes. Thank you. Yes, that's happening. Let's move on. There's more. Disillusionment and economic woe stoke Pakistan protests against Khan. Prime Minister is struggling to tackle rising prices and political frustration. Guys, this is going to happen as the economic system starts to unravel, as the climate system starts to unravel, as people start to realize that the government is about corruption and not about helping people and not about helping us face our very real problems. This is going to happen. It's happening in Hong Kong, obviously. That's a huge one. From small traders, let's read a little bit of this story. From small traders eking out an existence in far-flung markets to the young men studying in madrasas, a firebrand Islamist politician is rallying tens of thousands of Pakistanis to descend on Islamabad and topple Imran Khan. On Thursday, Maulana Fazlur Rahman, a veteran mobilizer who heads the Jamiat Ulema-e-Islam, sorry if I messed that up, will lead the marchers from across Pakistan into the capital. Mr. Rahman, whose party has ties to the Afghanistan and Pakistan Taliban and enjoys widespread support on the streets, is exploiting growing anger with Mr. Khan's government over his handling of an economic crisis. And then just to add, we know this is what they want and what they are calling for. Iran asks West to leave the Persian Gulf. Leave them alone. In Tehran, Iran's president called Sunday on Western powers to leave the security of the Persian Gulf to regional nations led by Tehran, criticizing a new U.S.-led coalition patrolling the region's waterways as nationwide parades showcased the Islamic Republic's military arsenal. Hassan Rouhani separately promised to unveil a regional peace plan at this week's upcoming high-level meetings of the United Nations, which comes amid heightened Mid-East tensions following a series of attacks, including a missile and drone assault on Saudi Arabia's oil industry. The U.S. alleges Iran carried out the September 14 attack on the world's largest oil processor in the kingdom and an oil field, which caused oil prices to spike by the biggest percentage since the 1991 Gulf War. Yep. And probably right in saying that that was a false flag. While Yemen's Iranian-allied Houthi rebels claimed the assault, Saudi Arabia says it was unquestionably sponsored by Iran. So who's responsible? If you guys remember Steel Pulse, the band Steel Pulse, have a song called Who's Responsible? 95 viewers. Can we make it to 100 today? Hierophant says, Age of Chaos. Basil Peterson, the legacy of Pinochet never ended and people were sick of privatization of the commons. 97 viewers. Guys, we're almost there. Tinkerbell says, relax, just a weekend on the res. Kablob Technology says, so if the oil companies run the governments worldwide, then maybe the protesters should harass them. Good idea. Going South says, we are at 101. I'm showing 97, but maybe it's showing 101 to you. So awesome. There's a little bit of lag in my stream, so maybe that's what's happening. So, hey, I think we set a record today for viewership. Thank you so much. And I think we covered so many topics. How many topics did we cover today? We covered, Bernie, Trump, Epstein, Katie Hill, protests around the world, fires, nuclear power plants, Fukushima news. Antonio Reed talked about that Friday on Environmental Coffee House. Please check that out. Hierophant says, nuclear war. All right, I'm getting reports that we reached 100 viewers today. Thank you, guys. Remember to like this video. Man, yeah, we hit it. Very good. I'm very, very encouraged. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. I want 100 viewers tomorrow night. Environmental Coffee House says, ha! Let's help Environmental Coffee House get to 100 viewers. So, yeah. If everybody can see that post and jump on, that would be awesome. It's Halloween, guys. It doesn't get any scarier than the news from around the world. There's nothing more spooky than climate change news. So, we're doing the Monster Mash up in here with the fright. We're the frighteners right here. Yeah, there's, nothing better, not a better escape for me than to, watch a bunch of kids dressed up in costumes, having a good time, getting some candy. I support it. Guys, get your candy, okay? Go get your candy, dress up, have a good time. The real world is about as scary as it gets, and it's always waiting there for you, and let's not wait to deal with it. Trisha Francesca, thank you for the pumpkins. Carved me a pumpkin myself with my daughter the other day. We had a really good time. Prudhomme says, Chile, Ecuador, Lebanon, France, Catalonia. Oh, I didn't even cover France. So yeah, I got a couple more minutes in this live cast. Macron crisis. Key Yellow Vest figures demand Macron meeting ahead of November 17th anniversary. So November 17th will be probably a big day for the Yellow Vests and probably a big day for media suppression or a media blackout. 4 high-profile yellow vest figures requested an emergency meeting with Emmanuel Macron on Monday. So I think was it last weekend or the weekend before, they had a really huge yellow vest turnout. And obviously, nobody covered it, and nobody reported on it, and it was very, very much ignored by the powers that be, of course. So the Yellow Vests are arguing that the French leader has failed to offer a political solution to the country's year-long social crisis. The anti-government activist said in a letter addressed to President Macron, accused his administration of repressing and rejecting the citizen-led movement and turning a deaf ear to the movement's core demands, adding no credible political response has yet been put forward. Where else have we heard that? Is it XR? Has said the exact same thing. So even though the governments have agreed to, to declare, the climate emergency, absolutely nothing has happened. Absolutely no major political steps have been put forward or put in place or taken or, organized or whatever. We just hear that okay, yes. That's a date to keep your eye out for, November 17th. 5th of November in London, Going South says. Looking out for that date in London. Henry Holt, how you doing? Welcome. Sultan Bev, just arrived too late at the end of your live broadcast. I'm sorry, yes. I'm glad you're here, though. Thank you for being here. The more, the merrier, even at the end. Remember the 5th of November, because that's my birthday. Hierophant, happy birthday. Just going to jump in, just a couple days away. We'll just call this your birthday week. So, yeah, Cynthia Kerr's mainstream propaganda. So, what they like to do, what the mainstream media and the powers that be like to do about anything that they don't like or don't want people to see is say, oh, it's kind of fading. Oh, it's dying away. Oh, they don't have much momentum anymore. Yeah. Nobody's showing up. Nobody's showing up to nobody's voting for Bernie. Yeah, people are jumping ship. He should just, what was it? 1 month ago, they were saying that Bernie should just get out of the race and give all his support to Elizabeth Warren. Oh, 25,000 plus crowd in New York, after he has a heart attack a month later. And we're seeing signs that Bernie is a much stronger candidate than Warren, Biden, and anybody else in the pack. Ringtailed Fox, hello. Hello, we're about to end this live cast, guys. Cynthia Cares, the people have spoken, Brexit and Extinction Rebellion. Yeah, so I'm sorry, I didn't even get to cover Brexit, even though I said the word a couple times. But so apparently there is going to be an election in England, right? They've set the date. They've agreed to have an election. And beyond that, I don't know what's happening. I believe there's an agreement to actually have Brexit happen. I don't know the details, so I'm not going to speak on it. But I can barely cover U.S. politics or global politics on this channel. Am I going to do a Brexit or a UK-specific broadcast? Maybe. I think it's pretty big news, so... people seem to think that it's pretty big news, so maybe I'll cover it. Warren is the new Obama, Realize says. Absolutely, Warren is the new Obama. She is an astroturfing faux-aggressive designed to suck power away from Bernie, to give everybody a kind of centralized, centrist yet progressive mainstream candidate. And also she's a woman, so everybody's like, yeah, you're sexist if you don't like Warren. It's just not true. I voted for a woman in the last election because her values lined up with my values, because I thought she was the best candidate in the race. To show you how sexist I am. I would not vote for Hillary Clinton. I would not vote for Warren. I would vote for Tulsi Gabbard. Gene, Kevin, what is your plan for Greta's visit to Los Angeles? I didn't even talk about that either. I'm sorry, guys. An hour is actually a really short time in a live cast, in a live stream. So I don't have a plan. My plan is I'm trying to move my commitment a little bit earlier so that I can get to City Hall in Los Angeles around 1 or 2 p.m. I think that the protest and the event will be in full swing probably around that time, probably 1 or 2. I'll probably be there around 2. So if you guys are in LA, if you guys want to meet up with me at City Hall, I'll be there. I'm saying between 1 and 2 p.m. I will do a live cast from City Hall. I will try to show you guys what's going on. I'm really hoping that my visit lines up with when Greta is speaking so that I can actually cover her speech or her presence there. I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are excited about it. I'm excited because, you know, the LA activists, the XR, you know, movement is doing their best, but it's very, very small here. Extremely small. So I'm hoping that tomorrow brings out, you know, hundreds of people, if not thousands. Cornholio says EU approves postponement of Brexit. New deadline is January 31st, 2020. Wow, they kicked that can way down the road. Or did they? Wait, no, it wasn't that far. I'm sorry, 2 months. My brain just saw that as a year away. No, that's January 31 is about 3 months away. Karen Daly says, if they put in Warren or if she's the nominee, Trump will be reelected. I have to agree with you. She's not strong, and man, that the part Cherokee thing is not a good look for her against Warren. She's also she's also kind of fibbed about some other things, about being fired for being pregnant. It doesn't look good. She doesn't, you know, right now the media is treating her with kid gloves. In the general election, those kid gloves come off, and she's not gonna do well. Namaste, Basil. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Thank you always for your support. Guys, I'm going to have to wrap it up. I really appreciate you. We hit 100 today. I'm ecstatic. Thank you for my Halloween gift or whatever that is. Don't give people Halloween gifts. I mean, give them candy, but whatever. We don't need to start giving gifts on Halloween. Let's not do that. Greta on BBN would be awesome. Oh my God. Yes, it would be. How can we make that? She's in LA. I'm going to reach out to her. Let's see if I can reach out to her on social media and if she'll give me an interview. All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Love you. We'll talk to you the next week at this time, or maybe I'll see you tomorrow from City Hall. I will see you tomorrow from City Hall. Peace and chicken grease, as they like to say.